Why, Peter? Why?
In just 2 days, Tom Dwan lost over $1.2 million, and here's exactly how it happened. Starting off on day 1, where everyone sits down with $1 million in front of them, Dwan gets himself into trouble playing 9-4. It is suited, and he is on the button in position, so we'll give him that. As we will see, he becomes end boss. Peter raises pocket 10s to 4k under the gun, and another character, Steve, makes a call on the cutoff. Dwan overcalls, and Hook is in there with 7-5 off from the big blind. The flop is action. 6-4-4, 2 diamonds, so Dwan flops trips, Steve has the nut flush draw, and Peter has an overpair. Peter starts off betting 8k into 18k.
Raise is inbound.
Steve just calls, and now it's time for Dwan to bump it up, making it 36k.
36,000.
I like this.
Peter and Steve both call.
See both your hands right now.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I call.
Alright, 36. Three ways.
Oh my god, where did they find that card? Excuse me?
Check.
Where is that card coming from? Oh no. Oh no, Durr.
The turn is a 10. Incredible. Peter now with a full house, and Dwan left with his in his hands. Now when it checks to Dwan, he bets 76k into 127k. Peter just makes a smooth call, and now Steve, as a recreational player, makes a really good play here and actually just folds.
Second place is gonna get no money in this hand, right? I call.
Okay. Durr. In trouble. Oh my god, just a complete brick.
With 279k in the pot, Tom bets 167k.
167,000. 167.
And he's going to get some bad news shortly.
Peter now essentially min clicks it back for 425k total, putting Dwan in straight agony.
How much?
What number do we want to say? 4? Yeah. I don't know what it's actually checking back.
Alright, the raise is just right here. 425.
Gross.
Bump it up to 4.25.
Why? Why, Peter? Why? Well, I'm not raising, so that's for sure. It's just a question of if I'm torching 258 or not. There's so much in there. 280. Can't believe you clicked it back. Oh my god.
Torture.
I feel like I'm for sure beat, but I don't think I can fold. Too dumb to fold. There's like fucking... It's like 600 something K in there. 620 or some shit.
Despite knowing he is likely never good, the price is just too nice and Dwan makes a call, losing about $500,000 in this one hand.
Oh no, Durr goes down. 1.1 million in the middle goes to Peter. The first $1 million pot goes to Peter. Durr getting doom zoomed by the cameraman early. The turn 10 of clubs for Magic. Oh no, Durr looking at the sky. There's no windows here at Hustler. And the doom zoom comes for Durr. The cameraman does not care who you are. They hit you with the doom zoom, even if you're one of the best to ever do it.
A couple hours later, Peter is not finished having his way with Dwan. Dwan starts off by raising Jack 10 off to 3k from the cutoff. Hook 3-bets 220k with Ace King off from the small blind. Peter with Queen 10 suited, a nice looking hand, cold calls from the big blind, and Dwan also calls in position. Obviously, this is not GTO from Dwan, but GTO goes out the window in this game. The flop comes Ace 10-6.
Great flop for Ace King. Both players catch middle pair against him. Hook starts with a check.
Looking good for Hook with top, who starts off with a check, which does cost him as everyone checks back to see a turn that is marvelous for both Peter and Dwan, the 10 of spades.
Oh, where does that card come from? The 1 out 10 and now you're betting? Oh my.
Hook now decides to start betting for 15k into 62k. Peter just calls, but Tom knows it's time to get some value.
This pot is about to explode.
He makes it 73k.
73,000. Where did they find the case 10? Hook on the hook.
Hook calls, and when action comes back to Peter, he essentially puts Dwan all in as he 3-bets to 223k.
If Peter raises here, there's absolutely no way Durr can fold, as he'll be beating value. Hands like 10-9, 10-8.
Raise enough.
I think this is the end of Durr. He will have felt after this. This line is so strong, but you beat value hands.
Dwan is thinking, what the f? But he makes a call, or basically all in, for about 150k more. Hook can now safely get out of there with his garbage, and for some reason, Peter does not snap call.
All in.
All in. All in.
Oh no.
Alright. Take 75, you get 2k back. All in.
How much? 238.5, I think.
I mean, we're certainly not thinking about folding, right, Peter? Like, we're in here.
Maybe he figures, damn, Dwan might actually have me beat, but of course he puts the money in and sees the good news.
This is gonna hurt even more for Tom, assuming he doesn't get there.
Call.
You said call, right?
You call, right?
Call.
He calls. He announced calls. Once or twice?
Another $1 million pot. Peter, 84%.
You call it. He says
没关系。
你说，你说，你说，你说，你说，你说，
he
你说一次还是2次？你说
我不
You?
哦，two OK，没关系。
two OK，
Two.
two OK，
All right, 2 boards.
two
Okay.
two two two.
We're gonna see 2 rivers, $1 million in the middle.
2 times.
Tom Dwan on the ropes.
It's all in, so I don't care. It's fine.
Tons of J's in the
I'm not
chat.
complaining. So it doesn't matter.
Alright, let's go. 2 times. Ready?
Let's go. 1 for Peter. $500,000 locked up. Another one for Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All $3 million pots. Headed to the man in seat number 2. And look at that stack. Huge stack of Kobe's on the top. Infinite 5Ks.
Dwan makes his first and final rebuy of the night for $500,000.
Reload. 500K. So if you get stacked, you can reload for $500,000.
The next day, Dwan and Peter are back at it where, of course, Dwan is once again left in the blender. The hand starts when hands raises to 5K from the hijack. Peter, who must just love Queen 10 by now, calls from the cutoff. Dwan calls with Jack 8 off and Doug is in there with a suited king. The flop is juicy. Queen 10-9. Dwan flops the second nut straight. Peter has 2 pair and even the other players have a piece. Action checks around to Peter who bets about half pot. 6K into 15K. Interestingly enough, Dwan decides not to raise. I think this is actually good strategy when playing so deep. Someone could easily have King Jack or a hand that blossoms to something stronger, so when this deep, he doesn't want to put all of his eggs into one basket, so to speak. Dwan just calls, and this is where Doug Polk actually decides to start turning his hand into a bluff as he raises to 32K.
And Doug Polk is the one raising.
Not a bad idea at all, as he has a gut shot and hearts for a backdoor flush. His opponents could always just fold as well, which would be nice. But as we can see with these hands, we know this will not happen. Both Peter and Dwan make the call.
92,500 in the pot. Action back over to Dwan. Dwan makes the call. Blank on the turn. Dwan now 83% to win the hand if it goes to showdown.
The turn is nothing. The 4 of clubs. Dwan checks and Polk wisely shuts down by checking as well. Now when back to Peter with top 2 pair, you'd think he'd bet, but instead decides to check back. Amazing. And now the river, which is just insane.
Peter checks it. Oh, wow. Peter ran like a god yesterday, and he continues. He checks back the turn and fills up on the river.
Yep, the Queen of Hearts giving Peter another full house versus Dwan. How does this guy do it? At this point, when the turn checks around, Dwan has to think he has the best hand. He doesn't take too long before betting 72K into 119K. Doug quickly folds, and now Peter is just thinking about how much to raise.
Dwan betting for value here. He has no reason to think that his straight isn't good. And he bets 72,000, and Peter has the stones.
He decides on about 3x, $224,000, and as before, Dwan wants to jump off a bridge.
Each one of those purple chips is 25K each. There's the reaction from Dwan. Yeah. After just a brutal day yesterday, it continues in day 2.
What's going on?
$415,000 pot. Dwan with the straight.
My brain's not working enough to find a language.
Picking up today where we left off yesterday, huh?
Just Peter's raising the river. I'm in a spot where, like, how can he have it? But he's got to have it. Do you really have Queen 10 or Queen 9? I feel like you check it. I don't feel like you check it. I feel like I'm never good, but how can I be beat? What the fuck? Can you have like ace queen? Maybe? I don't think so. 3 put cheese, sorry. Ooh, 1 second.
After much deliberation, Dwan comes to a decision.
Fast, too. She's so fast.
There's the call.
Oh, yeah.
And a little bit of a slow roll as he says nuts.
Oh, my lord.
At a $567,000 pot, the biggest pot of the night so far. Right where we left off, exactly.
It looked like you had a queen. but you actually had a straight. You were trapping.
I just felt like he had it on the river, but he snap checked the turn. Like how do you snap check the turn? What? It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Should we get Feldman out?
Yeah.
Feldman, yeah. So here's what happened.
Dwan ends the day down $286,000, bringing his 2-day total loss to over $1.2 million and his tilt versus Peter to the max. Unbelievable how poor Tom has run so far in these games, which has been a stark contrast to his massive win last year.